Joe?
Chris, what's up, man?
Not much. How's it going?
It's good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Where are you coming out of?
So I am in Maine, actually.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, where we're finally out of the snow. And so,
Takes a while up there, huh?
yeah, fortunately, not as long as the northern part of the state, but it's, yeah, get a little more snow than most places.
There used to be a salutation on an email I used to get from a principal, and it would always say the main thing. What is it? The main thing is to make the main thing the main thing. And I always thought that would be a great motto for Maine, you
For the
know?
state instead of vacation land.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Be a good way of getting things kind of be a lot to put on a t-shirt.
yeah. Uh, on all the signs as you enter the state, that would
Yeah,
take some
exactly.
reading.
With the silhouette of Stephen King on there.
Right.
For sure. Well, hey man, before we get
Yeah.
into your life and your work, what I would like to do is cover what we've all lived through the last 3 years with COVID. And I'm curious
Sure.
how you survived it and how it's changed the way that you conduct business and live life now.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. 'Cause During this kind of feels weird. After so I was in the army for I think 7 years active duty.
Yeah.
I came out of that and went into marketing, and it's a completely remote company that I started marketing for, and so I was working from home every day, and that started in 2019. So I was pretty used to being home all the time and not going out much.
Yeah.
I think the big change with COVID was obviously having my kids in the house all the time. And they went from not seeing me really ever to seeing me all of the time, and so it's probably more stressful for them than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the challenge. I mean, it was just a lot of the things we used to do to just get out and be able to relax, like see people. My kids weren't able to go participate in certain events where now some of the social things that they were used to having, now a year plus later, we're seeing some of the ramifications of that, where it's like some of the social skills we kind of saw them blossoming in them are a little less prominent, I guess, and they're struggling in certain situations where kids on the playground will do things like they interact and they learn just by being around other kids, and so I think there was some detriment there by not having that. But yeah, from the business side, for our marketing company, it really didn't impact a lot. We'd had a lot of clients needed to kind of either slow down their engagements or just stop because their clients couldn't pay them, because so many businesses just shut down. But we internally kind of took that as a chance to regroup, kind of restructure, and say, okay, what do businesses need that we can provide? And so we worked on that. We came out, and that year ended up being one of our strongest revenue producing years on record to that point. And I think we were able to give better offerings to all of those businesses. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
So let's get to the essence of exactly what you do for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids, third graders, career day. One of the kids looks up and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that kid?
I do too much, is what I would probably tell the kid. I would probably start with the exciting stuff. Since we're talking to kids, I'm still in the Army Reserves, so that's a lot of fun. I get to go play soldier for that 1 week in a month, a couple weeks a year. That's just a part of my life that I want to keep in. So that's enjoyable. But what I normally do for my primary job, I am the CEO of a marketing company. So I make sure that our team has everything that they need to be able to deliver great marketing results for all of our clients. And we work in tech and software as a service to help those companies. So all of the companies that they're probably using at home, there's a chance that we have worked with them. And then separately, I coach for just CEOs, company founders on leadership stuff. A lot of the lessons that I pulled from being in the military and now being CEO, took a lot of those lessons, into corporate America, and I've figured out how to help people,
Cool.
get more from their teams. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were in the third grade, what was your dream growing up? What'd you want to be?
Third grade, actually, I wanted to be a soldier.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that was it. I actually I had found a note. I think I'd wrote it in sixth grade, and this was after my freshman year of college. I chose a local university. I was working like 5 jobs to pay for college, and I was cleaning out my bedroom at my parents' house. And I found this note that I'd written that said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a soldier. I'm gonna go to the University of Maine and do ROTC." And I just had this like realization, like I can do that right now. And so I
Yeah.
enlisted. I think that week, and joined the reserves, finished college, commissioned, and went active duty as an infantry officer. And so I got to kind of live out that dream.
Absolutely. That's a great story. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
I at no point did I expect to get into marketing,
Right, right.
but here I am.
So let's peel back the layers of you being who you are and doing too much. You got the marketing and coaching and military. Let's go back to
Yeah,
your childhood. How were these seeds planted in you? How did you become who you are today?
yeah. So I think my parents they pushed me to try a lot of things, and because of it, I developed this like hobby of having hobbies, and just like I get really excited to explore something new, and then get as far as I can to like just um, so that it could be like dangerous in a conversation,
Yeah.
right? Like I learned how to make kombucha during COVID because it was like, what else am I going to do? I made 3 or 4 batches. I figured out how to do it, and then I just kind of lost interest but now I can go talk to anybody about making kombucha, and
Yeah.
we can like just have a conversation. It's fun.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think a lot of what they were kind of teaching me was that you can explore these things. You can go learn by just trying new things, see what you like, figure this stuff out, and then don't just quit when it gets hard, but actually like push through that because that's where you're actually going to start learning things and seeing what's up.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, I think I found a lot of my passions just because of that now.
So as a passionate person, who's been a hero for you in your life?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Who's been a hero for you in your life?
Oh, yeah, that's I've had actually a lot of them. So I mean, I'll give a quick shout out to my parents because in case they do listen to this, right? Hi, mom. Um, but I think being in the military, I got to meet a lot of people who have been through some pretty big ordeals,
Yeah.
and they came out of the other side, still trying to be their best selves and showing up for everybody else, making sure that they're taking care of themselves to be able to do that. I one of my big heroes. His name is Jay Copley. He passed away last year, but he was so he was the youngest sergeant major in the army at one point during I think right before Korea, um, and ended up getting a commission later as a captain during a battle. There, he could hear some of their fellow troops in contact, and they were completely surrounded. And he took it on himself to have his unit mount up, and they went and actually saved everybody through that. During it, he was shot, wounded, and evacuated from the battle. And nobody knew that he survived
Wow.
because when he went back to the States, he went to a different unit, and he just lived a quiet life, just doing everything. And then when people finally realized, oh, he is still alive, they kind of started praising him. They got him in for the Silver Star, but he was an older gentleman when I met him, obviously, and just the conversations I would have with him, and just like doing the right thing, right, no matter what that means. Asking yourself, like, could I live with myself not taking action here? Was all those things are pretty important, pretty pivotal into how I'm kind of living my life now. So
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now and spend some time with them, who would it be?
I can meet anyone right now.
Anyone. Yeah.
There's so many people. Um, Honestly, right now, I think I would love to sit down and pick the brain of Alex Hermosi. I don't know if you're familiar. He's a
Yeah.
entrepreneur, but we're the same age. I'm pretty sure, like to the point, birthdays in the same month, and he has just achieved so much. But separate from just like having a massive portfolio company and all this responsibility and everything, just the way he views certain problems and thinks about things, I find fascinating. And so I would just love to get in that conversation and learn more.
So what's been a motivator for you? Every day you wake up and, as a CEO, as an officer, what is it that really fuels you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a goal of just wanting to help as many people as possible. And it sounds very like out there, I guess. Not the most like concrete of life goals, but I found like through leadership, you can do a lot. You can make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives, right? Just even if you're just making them happy when they show up to work. Now when they go home at the end of the day, they're in a better mood. They're not stressed about work. They're showing up, they're spending more time with their families, they're volunteering in their communities, they're doing all of these things that are actually going to help society as a whole. And I don't think we realize how much influence a leader can actually have in just making people's lives better. And so a lot of what I try doing is just showing up, every day in the military, making sure all my soldiers are good to go. As CEO of Lean Labs, it's helping my team, making sure they have what they need and that our clients are getting the same, because when we help them, they're able to, help all of their teams. And then for anyone coaching, it's like now I'm really, it becomes exponential how much I'm able to help everybody. Because if I can train one leader, to just be more aware and communicate better and build trust, that spreads extremely fast. And so
So,
I would say that's what motivates me.
so at this point in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Ooh, probably my children. I've done a lot, and I've had a lot of support in order to do everything. But when I hear, from my kids' teachers like that they have done something, my oldest daughter the other day was they were in gym class, and there's a child with special needs. They were playing tag, and that child was having a hard time catching other kids to tag him. And the gym teacher told us, or physical education teacher, they changed the name of it. Actually told us like, hey, I saw her actively slow down to make sure that she was tagged so that she could, that kid felt good and stuff. And I just wanted to let you guys know we felt really, really good about that. And it's just hearing things like that, or even my youngest daughter, like there's a new kid at school and she spends the entire day with that new kid. And
Yeah.
it's just hearing these stories that it fills me with a lot of pride. It means I am at least doing the right things and showing them what right looks like.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at that. My son's 18 and he's on the spectrum. And there's been a lot of people throughout his life that have been kind, and it's really, really a good thing. There's a level of compassion that I think we all need to have for each other. And when that really comes out, especially when you're a child and you don't have any fences and you feel impelled to do that, there's something pretty inspirational about that for sure.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the 20-year-old version of yourself and you could give your younger version a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life. What would you tell your young version?
Yeah, that is a good question. I would probably tell myself to take more ownership of what I have going on in life. I think that was a lesson hard learned through time in the military. Uh, but just having that ownership and taking responsibility for everything, even if it was a bit out, somewhat out of my control, but asking, what could I have done here? It causes me to now to think differently about problems and to think about other options and solutions that I might not have considered before. It also gets rid of that whole blame game, right? I'm not looking at anyone else and saying, well, this is because of you. I'm saying, well, I could have done this better. And so that taking of responsibility, I think, has really led to a lot of my successes. So, man, if I could have started that at 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. So everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you're running the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Yeah, I like to believe that I am a good person who is going to do good by others. Very frequently loyal to a fault, where if I'm working with you, if I have said I'm going to do something, I am going to do that thing with you, and it becomes much easier, I think, to work with teams because I am fully committed to that team, and I think that is where we man, You're asking the hard questions.
Right. This is the final
would,
therapy question. And I think sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like this requires a dissertation, but it really, the simplicity is kind of bliss with this. So you did good. This is great. So you
Yeah.
escaped
All right.
the chamber, the therapy chamber. Hey man, if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, your company, your work, anything pertaining to your life, where can they go?
Yeah. So you find me primarily on LinkedIn. That's where I'll do a lot of my content stuff. Just Chris DuBois. You can look me up, CEO at Lean Labs. I also have a little Notion page I threw together. You go to chrisdubois.us. Just has a lot of what I do, stuff that might interest other people.
Right on. Chris, this has been great, man. Thank you for opening up. Send my best to Maine.
Yeah.
And good luck with everything.
It will do.
Cool.
Sounds good. All right,
Take care.
Take care.
See ya.